Well, good morning, dear friends. I'm back again, and it's Thursday morning. Seems like so many Thursday mornings it's raining, just like it is today. But I'm not going to let rain ruin my day. I thought that today I would talk with you about the disciple, the apostle Matthew. I've been preparing a sermon for Sunday about call, and one of the passages that is recommended in the Revised Common Lectionary is Matthew chapter 9, verses 1 through 9, and this relates the call of Matthew. Now, first of all, we know really very, very little from the biblical record about this man. He is a publican, a tax collector. So that meant that he worked with the Roman government collecting taxes from the people in his town, and his town was Capernaum. The thing is that there were not a lot of checks and balances on these tax collectors, and many of them collected more than was necessary, more than the Roman government wanted, and they lined their pockets with the excess. So that's why tax collectors and publicans were considered to be among the worst of the worst, and Matthew certainly was. One thing that's a little bit confusing is that in the book of Matthew, he is referred to by his name, Matthew. But if you find stories about him or mentions of him in Luke and in Mark, he is called Levi. Now, nobody really knows why he had two names. Maybe he was a Jewish person from the tribe of Levi. Maybe. Nobody really knows. We do know that he was from Capernaum, like I said, and Jesus came and found him working, collecting taxes, and went up to him and said, "Follow me." And Matthew did. That has really astounded me for a long time, that Jesus could just come and say a word and people would drop what they were doing and follow after him. What kind of charisma must this man have had to get people to do that? I think it's really an amazing thing. The passage in the book of Matthew, chapter 9, talks about him having a party the same day that Jesus called him. Maybe this was a way of celebrating his change and that he had become a new man, a new human. One of the commentators that I read said that some of the disciples probably were not pleased about him, and they were not sure that he was okay. He probably was really good with money, but if you remember, one of the other Gospels, and I can't recall which one, says that Judas Iscariot was actually the one who kept the books and kept the pouch, the money pouch. Interesting. So you're worried about the tax collector, but you let Judas Iscariot keep the money. Weird. Okay. So Matthew was indeed an eyewitness to the life of Jesus. The book that is attributed to him, Matthew, is more of an eyewitness account of what happened during Jesus' life, his ministry, and his death and resurrection. Those are the most important things that we have. Now, I say that we attributed that book to Matthew. Nobody really knows who wrote any one of the Gospels. It might have been Matthew. It might have been somebody else. In the very end, it really doesn't matter who wrote which of the Gospels, because we have these accounts of Jesus' life, and this is how we know what Jesus did, and they are important for that very reason. All right, so Matthew was this eyewitness. He followed Jesus for the years of his ministry, and after that, we're not sure what happened to Matthew. There are some who say that he went to Ethiopia to spread the gospel. There are some that actually say he went to Persia, to the east, to spread the gospel. Nobody really knows. There are those who say that he was martyred, and there are others who say that he died a natural death. I guess maybe when we get to heaven we can figure out what happened, but until then we don't know. And again, we have a faith, and we live by faith and not by sight and not by absolute knowledge. So don't let these unknowns challenge you too much in what you believe about Jesus Christ. All right, so that's what I have to say about Matthew. There's not a whole lot. I hope that you will go sometime today and read Matthew chapter 9, 1 through 9 to see what the Bible says in its entirety. I hope you have a great Thursday and a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.